Patriots Nation. I swear I can still hear it. That thump, again and again, with Drake Maye peeling himself off the turf like it was just another snap. 6 sacks on the biggest night of the year isn't just an ugly box score stain. It's a statement about who controlled the trenches. And the part that really sticks in your throat? This didn't feel like some random one-off nightmare. There's a fix that has to come fast. There's a pass rush name being floated that could turn into the biggest cap swing of the offseason. And there's one small number that shines a light on something we'd rather not talk about when Maye's under heat. If you're rocking with me, hit like, make sure you're subscribed, and drop your take as we go. Quick question. If you could correct one thing today, where are you starting? I'll keep it simple. If Drake Maye keeps taking shots like that, the tab shows up. That's not melodrama. That's just how bodies work. Super Bowl 60 was a blaring alarm for the Patriots, because when your franchise quarterback becomes a weekly target, the entire offense is basically negotiating with survival. 6 sacks in one night. So let's not dance around it. Do you honestly think he's making it through a full season with that level of punishment? And no, it wasn't just that night. The postseason turned it into a pattern you can't unsee. Maye took at least 5 sacks in each of New England's 4 playoff games, and that turned into an NFL single postseason record with 21 total sacks. If you're exhausted watching your QB get dumped behind the line, you're not alone, but wishing doesn't fix it. You have to build the problem out of the system. Seattle pressured Maye on over half of his dropbacks per next-gen stats. Over half. Sit with that. Because once that's your reality, everything changes. What you call, how you call it, what you're willing to risk. The playbook tightens up. Deep developing concepts start disappearing. You live in quick game. The offense gets predictable when the field compresses. And every 3rd and long starts feeling like you're flipping a coin. It messes with your run game too, because if you can't generate any push up front, defenses don't have to respect anything. Then you're right back in obvious passing situations. And you already know how that movie ends. This is where Patriots Nation starts arguing. How much of this lands on Will Campbell? He got singled out all night, and you can see why this conversation refuses to die. He hasn't looked the same since that torn MCL in Week 12. I respect the toughness, I really do, but the Super Bowl made something painfully obvious. He's not a finished product yet. In the NFL, once you show a soft edge, defenses don't take it easy. They circle it. Blitz looks find you. Stunts find you. One-on-ones find you. They keep coming until you prove you can shut the door. And yes, the Patriots did try to rebuild this unit. Morgan Moses arrived. Garrett Bradbury arrived. Jared Wilson got drafted. There was progress during the regular season, but the volatility, especially on the interior, showed up when the lights were the hottest. So the consequence is immediate and practical. You've got to upgrade inside, create real competition, and design protection so Maye isn't playing quarterback in a constant state of panic. Because if you swing and miss this offseason, what does that cost you by November? While everyone's locked on the O-line, let's pivot to the other side, because there's a detail almost nobody wants to lead with. Trey Hendrickson isn't just a big name. He's the kind of pass rusher that changes how an opponent scripts their week. Tuesday, not Sunday. That's the difference between a guy who gets talked about and a guy who changes outcomes. Let's keep the facts straight before we get emotional about it. Hendrickson is coming off an injury-shortened season. 7 games, 4 sacks. If that's all you look at, it's easy to shrug and move on. But here's what gets lost in the quick reaction. In 2023 and 2024, he went back-to-back with 17.5 sacks. That isn't a lucky spike. That's elite production repeated. In 2024, he put up 19 tackles for loss and 36 QB hits. Those hits don't just live on a stat sheet. They show up as rushed throws, broken timing, and turnovers that happen because the pocket turns into chaos. The Patriots angle, though, isn't clean. It's not just football. It's cap math and roster math at the same time. Hendrickson carried a $25 million cap hit last season. That's serious money. And this is exactly where the comment section is going to split. Do you pay premium cash for immediate game-wrecking pressure, trusting that the core muscle, hip, pelvis issue is behind him before camp? Or do you spread that same money across 2 or 3 solid pieces and keep the risk lower? Both arguments are real. Think about that for a second. And here's the underrated part of what Hendrickson brings. He lifts everybody around him. Your front can rotate cleaner. Your linebackers get to play faster instead of hesitating. Your secondary gets an extra half second. And that half second is the difference between a completion and a mistake. It won't trend on social, but it shows up on film every snap. The downside is obvious too. If you take the big swing and it doesn't land, that cap pain doesn't vanish after one Sunday. So answer it straight. Are you pressing the gas, or are you playing it safer? Because that decision ties directly to what we just watched in the Super Bowl. And the next part is the one that hits a nerve. Everybody walked away from Super Bowl 60 saying the same line. The line got him killed. True, but here's the uncomfortable reality. Maye wasn't only a victim. He made choices that turned pressure into disaster, and the numbers spotlighted in a way that's hard to argue with. According to Next Gen Stats, Maye and Sam Darnold averaged the exact same time to throw, 2.83 seconds. Same clock, completely different outcomes. Darnold was pressured 18 times and took 1 sack. Maye was pressured 23 times and took 6. That's not only protection, that's pocket management, that's processing, that's knowing when a play is dead and living for the next one. Let me say this, championship quarterbacks don't win every snap. They avoid the snaps that lose games. You could feel it live. There were moments where Maye looked frozen when bodies flashed in his face. He held it just a beat too long. He tried to escape when there was no runway. He turned a bad situation into a catastrophic one. 6 sacks for 43 lost yards on a Super Bowl stage is brutal. Not because it's embarrassing, but because it's so damaging to winning football. And it wasn't only that night either. Across the first 3 rounds of the playoff run, Maye was pressured 33 times and sacked 15 times. Nearly half of his pressures ended as sacks. You can't live like that, not in January, and definitely not year-round. The encouraging part is this is coachable. The frustrating part? It requires habit changes. Quicker decisions, throwaways, checkdowns that don't look pretty, and the discipline to punt instead of forcing hero ball. Are we ready for that version of Maye if it's the version that wins? Which brings us right back to the offseason topic that's going to hang over everything, whether anyone wants it to or not. Will Campbell's future at left tackle? If you think this debate is going to cool off, don't count on it. Because if this call goes sideways, it reshapes the entire offense. After what happened on the biggest stage, the question moved from a quiet whisper to a loud headline. Do you keep him at left tackle and protect him with scheme? Or do you slide him inside to guard and shuffle the whole structure? The criticism got sharp, and it came from a heavyweight. Ndamukong Suh, on Sky Sports Super Bowl coverage, basically pointed at Campbell as the target. The weak link defenses were hunting. He even used his own term, calling him a pigeon. It's harsh to hear, but it also tells you what every defensive staff is already thinking. If one spot can be attacked, it will be attacked. With blitzes, with one-on-ones, with overload looks, until you prove you have answers. And the football consequence is pretty straightforward. If Campbell stays at left tackle, you might need constant help. Tight ends chipping, sliding protections, limiting what you can do, and that puts a cap on your ceiling. If you move him to guard, you're basically admitting the blind side can't be a development lab, but you're also creating a new problem on the edge. There's no choice here without a cost, especially with a first-place schedule waiting next season. This is where Patriots Nation really fractures. Some of you are going to say, let the kid grow, stop panicking. Others are going to say, you can't gamble the franchise QB's blind side. I understand both sides. The only real question is timing. The NFL doesn't give you a calm environment to sort this out slowly. It forces the answer in real time. So when you connect the dots, the protection crisis, Maye's growth curve under pressure, the idea of paying big for a closer on defense, and the Campbell decision, it all points to one wild truth. Protecting Drake Maye isn't just a need, it's the identity. The line has to level up. Maye has to learn how to survive chaos. The defense might have to be strong enough to shorten games. And Campbell has become the symbol of this crossroads. Here's the part that's almost scary. Get one of these decisions wrong, and it amplifies all the others. Get them right, and the Patriots can be feared again fast. So I'm asking you, are you betting on patient development, or are you slamming the all-in button right now? Hit like, subscribe, and drop your answer in the comments, because I already know this one is going to split the room.